Good morning, Year 3. In our previous lesson, we were looking at doubling numbers. Today, we're going to look at halving numbers. But before we do that, I have another starter activity that we often complete in class. I've written these 5 numbers on the board, and I want you to see if you can make 37. I believe a few times recently, some people have found this a little bit tricky. Remember, you can use your diary if you are really stuck. I have tried to make the numbers slightly smaller today to see if we have a better chance of solving this problem. So pause the video, give yourself maybe 4 minutes and see if you can find a solution to this problem. Maybe you can find even more than one way to get the answer. And whilst you're doing that, pause the video, and then when you come back on, there'll be an answer on the board, and maybe you'll have the same answer, maybe you'll have a different answer. Good luck. Welcome back, Year 3. Well done if you found an answer to the problem, or you got as close as you could to 37. The one answer I have on the board was 5 times 6, which is 30, add 4 is 34, add 3 is 37. So I used 6, 5, 4 and 3. Well done if you found an answer. So in our last lesson, we were doubling numbers. As a quick recap, what I'd like you to do is try to double the 2 numbers I have on the board. Now, it's great if you can do that in your head, but ideally, find a little piece of scrap paper somewhere and see if you can use the method, see if you can remember the method from last lesson that we used to find what double 39 and double 26 would be. Remember, as a quick tip, clue, we partition the numbers first, we break it up first. See if you can remember that method used to find what double 39 is and double 26. Pause the video again and see if you can do that, and I'll add the answers to my board. Welcome back, Year 3. Well done if you managed to double either of those numbers. I have the answers on the board. So 39, we partitioned into 30 and 9. Then we double both parts, 60 and 18, and then we add it back together, 78. So well done if you got 78. And over here, 26, we partitioned into 20 and 6. Then we doubled both parts to make 40 and 12, added it back together, and our answer was 52. Well done if you got either of those answers. But today we are halving numbers, finding half of a number, dividing it into 2, splitting it into 2 groups, 2 equal groups, halving. To do that, we actually use exactly the same method, but instead of doubling the numbers when we partition it, we're obviously going to halve the numbers when we partition it. I'm going to do this one on the board, and then maybe see if you can do the other 3 on a piece of paper again. So first of all, we have 34. The first thing we have to do is partition the number again. So we break it up into 30 and 4. Obviously, if it was a 3-digit number, we'd just partition it into 3 parts. This is just a 2-digit number. We only have to partition it into 2 numbers. From what I remember when we have done this previously, the part that people find trickiest is halving a number that has an odd number at the beginning. So trying to find half of 30 or half of 50 or half of 70 or half of 90. Those are the things that can confuse people sometimes. It's going to have to end in a 5. I just know, because I've done it lots of times and I remember the numbers, half of 30 is 15. 15. So you just need to check your answer carefully. Once you have an answer to that part, you could always double it just to double check that it is half of the number above. 2 10s are 20 and 2 5s are 10. 20 and 10 make 30. So I know that one is right. And half of 4 is 2. And then we just add those 2 bits together and we get 17. So it's exactly the same method as last lesson, except instead of doubling the numbers, we are halving the numbers. So why don't you pause the video and see if you can use that method to find half of each of these numbers. And I'm going to pause my video and add the answers to my board as well. So once you've completed that, you can unpause it and you can check your answers. Have a go. It's exactly the same method of partitioning, but instead of doubling, we are halving the numbers. They're getting smaller. Have a go. Welcome back, Year 3. I have each of those answers on the board. If it's an even number, you'll probably find it easier to halve it, because it's much easier to halve both even numbers like that. 48 is 40 and 8. Half each part would be 20 and 4. Add it together, 24. I'm sure everyone got that one. 56. When we partition the number, it becomes 50 and 6. We half each part. This was the tricky bit. Half of 50 is 25. Remember, double 20 is 40, double 5 is 10. 40 and 10 makes 50, so we can check if it's correct. Half of 6 is 3. Add those two numbers together, 28. And finally, half of 36. Partition it first, 30 and 6. Half each part becomes 15 and 3, because remember, half of 30 is 15. Add those two numbers together, 18. Well done if you got any of those answers. I'm just going to explain what you're going to do today then. This is the sheet that you have. It's laid out for you, very similarly to last lesson where we put our number at the top, partition it, halve it, and then add it together to write the answer, exactly like we were doing on the board. All of these numbers at the bottom, those are the numbers you need to put into the boxes and half. 36, 74, 54, 98, 48, 62, 38, 78. All of those numbers. Use these boxes to help answer those questions. If you happen to finish that and you want an extra challenge, there are 3-digit numbers at the bottom that you can try to halve as well, but you'll have to use a separate bit of paper to be able to do that. You may have run out of space in your book by now, so you may just need to use a plain piece of paper. I ran out of space in mine. Just as a quick reminder though, if you get to that challenge and you want to have a go, let me just clean my board. If it's a 3-digit number, the first one on your sheet says 124. You'll just partition it into 3 ways, hundreds, tens, units. So we have 100, we have 2 tens, which is 20, and then 4 units. And then you would do the same as you did before. Half each part and then add it together. So just a reminder there, if you get to the extra part and you want to challenge and test yourself, it will be a 3-digit number, so you'll partition it 3 different ways. Thank you for watching today, Year 3. Any questions, just come on to Google Meet, or if you want to check any answers. Thank you.